Hey, greetings, my people. This is Larrie Londin. That's Larrie Londin, Larry London, not Larrie London, Larrielondin. Hey, I thought I'd make a video here because I have so many people who are always asking some form of the question, are you Larrie Londin? Are you Larrie Londin Jr.? When I lived in Nashville, it was crazy. And everybody kept asking me if I was Larrie Londin Jr. And I was like, no, I just moved here. I don't know how to tell you this, but Larry's passed away, right? So Larry passed away in 1992, and he was doing a drum clinic at North Texas State. And had a heart attack and spent 4 months in a coma, and then died at the age of 48. And so when I played at North Texas, I had a bunch of people again say, "Hey, the famous Larrie Londin died here at a clinic." And I said, "Yes, I do know that." I first saw Larry's name come up on a record on the very first Amy Grant record, and I think she was like 17 at the time. And of course, Larry was a huge Nashville guy. He played with like a who's who list of people out there, and then went on to played with Elvis and Journey, and man, it's just a who's who. I'll put up a list, and one of the great studio guys ever. And I never got a chance to see him. I just have my name that my parents gave me, and he has a stage name. His original name at birth was Ralph Gallant, and apparently he liked the name Larrie Londin with that spelling. And but I just get asked this all the time. When I post on these drum groups, I get asked it all the time. When I'm out and about, after I was in Nashville, I toured around a bit. I ended up in Las Vegas. Loved Las Vegas, and but I didn't know anybody there at the time, and so I just started running ads. And for teaching, I started teaching at some music academies and such. And this guy calls me up like at 3 a.m. Of course, I'm up, and he goes, "Hey, is this Larrie Londin?" I go, "Yeah, this is Larrie Londin. How can I help you?" And he goes, "I don't think it's cool, man, that you are using my friend's name, Larrie Londin, to just lift yourself up on his name." And I go, "Well, I don't know what to tell you. This is the name my parents gave me, right? This is it." He was actually really upset, and I kept trying to talk him down. And he was going on about my ad and my ad. I go, "Well, Larry's had a very, very different life than I've had, and such and such, and he was a studio guy. He's great, huge shoes to fill as a studio guy." And I go, "I've just had a very different life." And I go, "This is my real name." And he goes, "Well, I'm friends with Larry, and I think it's wrong that you're doing that." And I go, "Well, if you're friends with him, you know that he died then, right?" He's like, "What do you mean he died?" And I go, "He died like in 1992. Like, this is 2002, I mean, it's like," he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And I go, "Well, I'm just telling you that we're very different people, and I love Larry's playing, and I heard him on the Journey album. I thought his drumming was very, very, very solid and tight on that record, on the Raised on Radio album. And then he played on Steve Perry's Street Talk. Love the song She's Mine. Drums are so clear on that record. And anyway, but I've been harangued by this like everywhere I go. So there's some difference there because we have some age difference, but man, I get it in these drum groups all the time, and little private messages all the time. And so I'm hoping this video will kind of straighten that out a bit. I've just completed a studio here out in Oregon, and I just got my teaching series, London's Great Start series, out on Amazon and on my site. And so that's my life's work. And so I built this studio to record every groove of every page in the entire series, there's like 1,000 pages in the series. So it's going to take me a minute. And right now I'm working on this big solo with my mirrored kit. And if you want to check any of that stuff out, it's where I have a a mirrored setup, and I'm going to do a bunch of videos explaining why that is and why I read in 2-line instead of 5-line, and why I've always believed in playing open-handed, and just a whole slew of stuff that is probably going to make me, the most hated guy drummer in America. But I just believe in him. I believe in the efficiency of him, and so we just have very different lives that he has done. When I've done a lot of tribute shows, and Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Elton John, all sorts of them. But the Elvis ones that I've done, I still get people to come up and they go, Larrie Londin played for Elvis. I go, I know he did. I know he did. It's a different guy. It's a different guy. It's not me. And he passed away. And they have scholarships in his name. I don't know if they still have that, but they did for a long time. And he's like listed on Drummer World's top 200 drummers list or something, and just a legend in the recording community for sure. And so all of his playing was very, very clean, very sensical. I think he originally started out that he wanted to be a singer, and I've just always said this, that it seems like all these singing drummers have such a great melodic way of playing on the drums. Dean Castronovo, there's just so many, and they just think very melodically, and it comes out in their playing. Larry had that. If you just listen to, like I said, any of his work, but I just loved what he did in the Journey record, even just for this brief time, just recording that. The drums were just, so solid and sensical, right to the song. And I've always wanted to elevate to that kind of a studio playing where you just really craft a part. All those studio guys, Larry, Paul Lem, Jeff Beccaro, I mean, there's so many, and they just have a great sense of just playing the song somehow, and I love that. I love people who play outside. I think we all want to be full spectrum people in the end, where we can play just the minimum requirement that makes the song move, and then you can play every part of the spectrum over until you can just completely solo across the tune if you want. If that's what those are the great players like Vinnie Colaiuta can do that, and so I just I believe in the full spectrum thing. But there's just a whole world of studio guys that really changed my life. Larry's one of them. His playing was very, very clean, and sorry I didn't get a chance to see him play in real life, since it would have been fun to introduce myself and say we had the same name, different spelling. But I hope this kind of clears up some of that, and I'm going to make it just for this reason, so that I can just post this video anytime somebody has a question about it. Love for you to check out, of course, all of Larry's work. I love his, there's a track of him playing Norwegian Wood that's really, really good. You can look that up. But I'd love to have you check out my work and see if you are my people. I've been on the search for my people my whole life, and if anything in my work speaks to you, then we are people together. Then I really appreciate you taking a moment to listen to this and check everything out. Thanks.